Hi, everybody, and welcome to my classroom handbook. Yeah, I have a handbook. I have rules. Why? Well, when you know what I expect from you, it's easier to follow through on those expectations. As the cover says, right under my amazing dog Tanita, it pays to know. So let's get into the book and find out what's expected. So, as you can see by the table of contents, there's a lot of things to talk about. I don't want this to take forever, so let's get right into it. Number one, entering the classroom. Right as you enter my classroom, you'll notice to your left that there's folders. There's a folder there with your name on it. You need to pull your folder, go to your seat yourself, open up your folder, and see if there's anything in there for you to do. That's where I'll put everything on a daily basis. Students who do not pull their folder will be marked absent and lose points for the day. Your folder is your time card, and if you choose not to grab your folder, you decide to be marked absent for the day. Okay, number two, opening activities. Look to the smartboard, the whiteboard, or even your folder that you pulled when you came in the classroom on a daily basis. Please do not ask, "What are we doing today?" until you've looked in those places. If there is a daily goal, please record it in your notebook. You may want to keep a record of what we're doing on a day-to-day basis. You can see here how I would do it. I would put the goal that might be posted on the board and the date. This way, if there's something you have to go back to, you know exactly when we did it, and you can look for sheets that have that particular date or those particular keywords. You may begin as soon as you've reviewed the daily agenda that may be in your folder or on the board. Like I said, you want to take your folder and take your seat. Do not turn in exercises unless otherwise instructed, and look at the top of any handout to see if it needs to be placed in a particular section of your binder. I'll go through your binder sections later on this week, but whenever I want you to put something in your binder, I tell you exactly where to put it, right at the top of any worksheet. Number three, manners. Important words to use in class are good morning and good afternoon, please and thank you, you're welcome, may I, excuse me, Mr. or Mrs. You don't just want to use these words in my classroom, you want to use them in the hallway. Remember, you never know who you're running into and who you may be making angry. You could be burning a bridge with someone you'll eventually want a letter of recommendation for. You may be saying something silly to your future math teacher. Or maybe if you're a senior, that person who you're not holding the door for will be sitting on your WISE panel. You want to be nice to everybody and use these types of manners and words. You'll only benefit from them in the future because, like I said, you never know who you're running into in the hallway. Food and drink. Number four. No food and drinks are allowed in my classroom. I allowed water, but if food or drink is visible, it will be taken from you. That's because I have to keep my classroom clean. You know, we're awful close to the dumpster, and if the back door's open, we're just inviting critters in. So please understand, I would love for you to have a feast in my classroom, but I can't, so no food or drinks. No cell phones or headphones in my classroom. Cell phones may not be visible unless I invite them, and they must be turned off during class, again, unless I ask you to take it out. A cell phone will be taken away if a teacher sees it, and that teacher is me, so please don't make me take your cell phone from you. Just keep it in your bag and keep it turned off. Those are the rules. Listening and responding to questions. Please raise your hand to speak, and please wait for me to call on you. Only questions relevant to the material or the lecture will be addressed. So if you ask me something like, "What did you eat for dinner last night?" I may just ignore you. All other inquiries will be addressed at the end of class. So when in doubt, ask three before me. That's a rule in my classroom. So if you were absent the day before and you come in, you know what? Ask one of your classmates or two of your classmates before you raise your hand and interrupt the class to ask me. Or show up before the class and I'll be more than happy to answer your question if I'm not doing something else. Ask three before me and make up work. If you are absent, please ask three people what you missed. Check your folder to see if there are any messages or assignments. Any work that you cannot find is posted on my website, www.tanitajamesknows.com. If you've checked out your folder and asked three people for what you missed, you may ask me for any additional information and handouts. Makeup work will be given for school-related absences only. So if you skip, please don't expect me to help you. You're responsible to see your folder, classmates, and our class website to get missed work or handouts. That are the result of any unexcused absences. Supplies. You are responsible for bringing a pencil, pen, paper, and your binder to every class. Passes will not be given to lockers to retrieve supplies. Noise control. Really simple. I have a bell, and when you hear a bell, freeze, turn and face me, pay attention, and keep your eyes on me. Be ready for instructions, because I guarantee you, I will have something to say. Working in groups. I assign groups. Each student must contribute to the group. Group grades will be issued in addition to individual grades. Please inform me, the teacher, if another student in your group is not contributing. Students are not allowed to change groups. It's just really not fair. Like I said, call me over and I'll help you mediate any issues that you may have. Assistance during tasks. Do not scream for the teacher or say the teacher's name when you need help. So don't sit there going, Mr. Stirpe, Mr. Stirpe, Mr. Stirpe. Raise your hand. When I acknowledge you, go back to your assignment and skip the stuff you don't know and work on the stuff you do know. Wait for me to come over and I'll be more than happy to help. End of class. Clean your workstations during the last 5 minutes of class. Don't leave your mess for me to clean up. Put your folders in the correct collection bin. I showed you the collection bin on the first day of class. Do not toss your folder on top of another class's folder or leave it for me to put away. I will dismiss the class after the workstations are clean and everyone is seated. Remain in your seat until I dismiss the class. Let's get this straight. The bell does not dismiss the class. You do not dismiss the class. I dismiss the class. The bell just lets me know when it's time to get ready to dismiss the class. So stay seated until I tell you it's time to go. Getting out of your seat. Students may leave their seats only to perform assignment-related tasks. Use your judgment when leaving your seats. Students are not allowed to get up out of their seats to just speak with friends. Tardy. Present your T-Money late pass and follow the instruction on the card. I'm going to give you a set of passes, and if you're late, you can use them. You may also present a late pass from a teacher or some T-Money. We'll get into that as we move forward in the class. Put the pass to the class in the basket next to the sign-in sheet and sign in. You must sign in, and then you have to pull your folder, seat yourself, and review the calendar. That would be anything that's inside your folder. If there's something in there that you see people working on, begin that opening activity. Passes. Like I said, passes will only be given for restroom, short water breaks, and the nurse. If you have an existing pass, or T-Money as I like to call it, follow the instructions on the pass, sign out on the sign-out sheet, take the hall pass, and quickly and quietly leave the classroom. If you do not have an existing pass, passes will not be given for the first 15 minutes of class and for the last 15 minutes of class. Passes will not be given to any student who interrupts lectures. If you are about to ask for a pass, please see this flowchart. Does that make sense? Okay. Portfolio/notebooks, whatever you want to call it. Please keep a notebook that's clean and organized. Notebooks will be checked periodically for completeness. Turning in assignments. Work will be collected every Friday or the last day of every week. Your full name should be printed or typed in the upper left-hand corner of all assignments, and it should include the following information. If you can, double space your assignments. It makes it easier for me to read. Like I said, I only collect assignments on Friday, and I make it very clear on how I want you to turn assignments in and how I want them presented. Just listen, and you should have no problem. Testing. All test work must be worked on independently unless otherwise instructed. Make sure your test is submitted in numerical order if they are numbered. Make sure your name, subject, date, and period are in the front of any answer sheet. Let me tell you, I'm pretty much going to give you a 0 if you don't put your name because I won't know who you are. I already do way more than most people, so don't make me work even harder finishing early. I'll skip 19, finishing early, because it doesn't apply to everyone. All I'll say is you're not allowed to sit in class and do nothing. You should be working into the end of class. 20. Visitors in the classroom. Teacher is not in the classroom. Listen, if a visitor is in the classroom or I'm not in the classroom, you need to make sure that all the procedures I outlined in this handbook are enforced. Major point deductions will occur for inappropriate behavior, and that's left up to my discretion. Announcements. No talking during the announcements. I'll take off points for talking during the announcement. Yes, I keep a very neat grade book, and I am not afraid to use it. Fire drill. Please see fire drill procedures posted in the classroom. Students must leave and return as a class. So no finding your friends and coming back on your own 5 minutes later. If you do, please know I will write you up or let you know exactly what I think you did that was inappropriate behavior. Assembly or abbreviated day. Listen, if we have an assembly or it's a half day and classes are shorter, all these classroom procedures are enforced. Students more than 5 minutes late will need to get a pass to enter the class. So that's it. That's my handbook. Listen, I think my rules are really, really reasonable. So that was really, really reasonable. I'm trying to establish a classroom language so you know how I talk, what I expect of you, and now you know what you can expect from me. I hope this helps. And if at any point during the year you think that you may not understand exactly how my class works, come back and look at this procedure. And by getting on the right page, you can take full advantage of my classroom. I'll see you in class. Thanks for listening.